What's going on, everybody? It's Bud. Hope I found you doing well today, and welcome back to some Monster Hunter Wire. We're going to be attempting to do the hammer fight guide today. I'm not too good with this thing, apparently. Let's run you through the build we got. So, I'm using the Arkveld hammer. It feels a little interesting, because when I do get dragon blighted, it feels like I'm not hitting for anything. But hammer's not supposed to have a crazy elemental weighting unless it's different in this game, and I'm used to Iceborne. Anyways, we're using 2 pieces Guardian Doshagama for the powerhouse, for when we do offset, we get some raw for 3 minutes. It's 10 raw for 3 minutes. 25 if you use 4 pieces. We have 2 pieces of Fulgur to kind of help with max might uptime since we're going to be charging a lot of the time. I'm using this piece of Laggy just for the slots and the Wex and max might because that's a really good value piece. I have the Wex 2 charm on, and here is the list of skills. Here's the decorations. So I've gemmed in 3 levels of Evade Window and Evade Extender for comfort. This does not affect your charge step. Well, the Evade Window does, the Evade Extender doesn't. The Evade Extender is purely for when I'm in neutral with him and he decides to do a chain slam, I can roll twice and get out of the way really quickly. We have Divine Blessing as usual, because who doesn't use Divine Blessing? And then as you can see with these 3 level 3 slots, if you are more competent with Hammer than I am, then you could actually put some useful things here instead of Steadfast, but I get hit so often that I get stunned even more often, so 2 Adrenaline Rush, 1 Burst maybe would probably be the best thing you could put here in this scenario. Or you could use the Agi Charm and then gem in the extra levels of Tenderizer and then a level of Burst. You could do that too. I have Steadfast here because skill issue. And I'm using the Arkveld hammer because it has 3 levels of focus built into it. Because as we've already established with the monster tree weapons, you can't fit shit in them in terms of the skills you need if you're a weapon that needs more than crit damage and sharpness management, which hammer is. You want focus. So using that hammer purely for the focus, and we have a Master's Touch Jewel and 2 levels of crit. We have the same item set. I have added null berries. I don't know if I'm going to remember to eat them or not. There they are. We're gonna eat for the Defender High and Medic meal again. So let's try this, I guess. As we get in here, thank you to the person in the comments that told me you could hit left bumper, right trigger to put on your mantle. Thank you. As I said, I'm not the best with this thing, so my game plan throughout this hunt, just because it was comfortable for me, was walk around and try to hit him with level 3 slams. That's what my game plan was. If I knew I had a longer opening, I would go for the double charged Mighty Slam, but other than that, I was just walking around fishing for either offsets with the level 2 charge or damage with the level 3 charge. And as standard for this fight, I always show what I do on the first 3 hit combo. My go-to for it was charge step all of the hits and then hit them with a level 3 charge. Right. That's what I'm talking about with I'm bad with it. That was going so well. And then I just shit the bed. On either of the Novas he does, if you do the Punish Wound, once he's done with the Nova, you do have enough time to do a level 2 Mighty Slam. I didn't do it here in this example because that was my first time and I wasn't sure, but you do have enough time for it. Also, Chain Slams, as always, your best opening. Just charge step over to and level 3 charge. The good thing to look for is this double side chain slam that he does. He's always going to follow it up with a front chain slam afterwards. So just watch for that move, and every time you see the double chain slam, you know you're about to have a good opening. Something I didn't know about the focus strike on hammer is you hold charge during it, and then as soon as the animation is over, you let go of charge and you do a level 3 slam. This attack is either really weak, or certain weapons have certain attacks that have very weak armor against this move. But as you can see, I just stood there and did a level 3 in his face, even though he clearly hit me with his arm. Here it is again. I didn't even do an attack. I did a charge step, timed the iframes wrong, and still didn't get knocked over by it.
Leave this to me. Heels inbound. This'll freshen you up quick.
Here's the Guardian Beyblade into lasers into Nova combo. Same thing as usual. I roll at him, dodge the lasers, and then run straight toward him. Funny moment here with the Sport Buff. I accidentally hit it, but then it let me get a free level 3 charge into his face, so that was cool. Now, if you could get lucky enough to where he gets into this room and there's not another monster with him, you can immediately just drop the rocks on his head, but hardly ever is he alone here. As you can see this time, the rolling toward him didn't work. So it worked twice and didn't work once. Most of the time you can roll toward him and you're safe. I think here there just wasn't a whole lot of ground beneath him, so he ended up putting one right where I was. Wow.
Leave this to me. Heels inbound.
Also, this is the point in the hunt where I figured out that instantly letting go of charge after a focus strike works. And here is me finally trying the Mighty Slam after seeing that I probably had enough time to fit it in after a 3-hit combo. And I got lucky and got to charge step jump into a mount. That was kind of interesting. Do you like how I got the offset and he didn't fucking do the thing? Here's finally a second example of the double chain slam into full chain slam that I mentioned earlier. Dude, these wilt crystals are killing me. I don't know what part of my brain kept either A, forgetting about the punish wounds after chain slams, or B, I just kept missing them because I kept timing my moves wrong. So just don't do that as much and you probably kill him like 7 minutes faster. As standard for the fight guides at this point, he's pretty close to dead right now, so I'm just gonna leave in the last couple of minutes of the hunt so you can see everything without jumping around to different points of the fight.
Contact with it. I'll save this for later. Almost there.
We set a trap.
Also, this bozo completely forgot to unmute his mic for the rest of this. I find it hilarious that I forgot to unmute my mic there. That's hilarious. But anyways, that was the hammer fight guide. Hopefully taught you a thing or two. Like I said, I'm not the best with it. I was playing that like it was greatsword. I was just walking around waiting for him to give me an opening, and then I would level 3 slam his arms. That's what my game plan was. So I started to get more comfortable toward the end of the hunt, and I was being more aggressive with charge steps into the level 2 uppercut, charge steps into level 3, into when I knew he would stand still for a second. So I was getting the hang of it the more that I was using it. I was just playing pretty safe and reserved. Hopefully that helped. I won't ramble too much more. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you in the next one.